Welcome back to the Torque Test channel. We've long been asked to feature some German-made brands on this channel, such as Fine, Hazet, Metabo. Today's our first crack at that with the Metabo SSW 18LTX300BL, which is their sort of compact 5.7-inch long impact wrench model rated for 300 newton meters, which is about 221 foot-pounds. This is, of course, the Dark Forest Green Metabo, a brand usually said with a German accent, not the lime green Metabo HPT that we get here in the States. But someone must have been looking at someone else's notes because Metabo HPT also has a 5.7-inch long, 225 foot-pounds sort of compact impact wrench model as well. This one we have thanks to Carl in Michigan from when he loaned us his HPT High Torque. Metabo HPT, or Hikoki as they're known most places, is not afraid of putting out products made in China, and based on the few we've tested, honestly, I can see why. Their mid-torque is a beast. But it does afford us the opportunity to compare two seemingly identical on paper tools with very similar brand names, but with very different history and country of origin associated with those names. But hold on to your horses because we have had some curveballs coming our way with today's episode that has left us scratching our heads, so stay tuned. Neither of these tools are particularly miniature, grouped into compacts on this channel for being sub 6 inches, but not exactly a M12 stubby or DCF 912 atomic we're dealing with here. That's not helped at all by this big honkin' battery we have for the HPT either, which is a 4 amp hour and 36 volt format, but 8 amp hour in this tool's native 18 volt. And while the HPT is sporting plenty of modes, the old-fashioned Metabo takes the cake there with 10 separate power settings and max on this little dial. Because we're curious about those and how sort of linear those 10 separate helpings of power would be, let's hop into testing to take a look. Our first test is called Working Torque 5 seconds and forward. Here's the Metabo HPT first with its cat walking on a keyboard model number WR18DBDL2Q4. You got that? All right, here we go. $134, not particularly earth-shattering, even in this compact category. And here's the dark green Metabo in its highest setting. $159, not bad. That brings it closer in line with a, say, Milwaukee M12 or M18 compact in this forward test. Now here's power setting 10 or one click down. Yeah, that's basically unchanged. So let's take a look at power setting 7. Definitely not linear so far as we're barely making a dent, so here's power setting 3 to try to see some change. Yeah, 67, so a lot less beans now. Still think it's kind of cool, this power dial. Like if you found which setting worked on a repetitive application you have, or even your own car's lug nuts, might be a good rattle and go sort of experience. But now for some bigger numbers, hopefully. Our next test is called Max Torque, 10 seconds in reverse. Here's the HPT. $198 foot-pounds, just starting to enter that sort of territory you'd expect from a good compact power-wise. Here's the Metabo. $203, a bit up on the HPT everywhere on the curve, but nothing dramatic. Our last test is called Best Case Scenario, 15 seconds, battery is freshly charged, their best runs. Up first is the HPT. 253, not bad. The HPT has a very linear power curve that doesn't slow down much, using its size like it should to make continued gains over time. Last up is the Metabo. $224. This Metabo after the 200, 220 mark really lays over, despite being able to tackle stuff under 200 foot-pounds likely quicker than the HPT can. But we're just getting started on the surprises from the old dark green Metabo here. I'm afraid we've been operating under a false premise thus far, but not on purpose. We borrowed this particular Metabo 300BL from a viewer by the name of Durand, and after we sent it back to him, we asked him how much he paid, as we sometimes do to double check pricing and such. He said $179. $179? Don't these sell for like $240, $250? Metabo's famously not cheap, right? That's less than a Milwaukee. It's German made, after all, right? So Durand sent us a link to the Amazon page he bought it from. Yeah, $179, says made in Germany as the first feature, but the only negative review at the time, there's more now, said it showed up as made in China for that person. So we asked Durand to take a picture of his after he got it, and sure enough, slipped right under our noses like it probably did for many others, made in China. That doesn't mean it's trash, of course. Heck, most of the cordless tools that do well on this channel originate from the country. But if you're dropping coin for Metabo, not Metabo HPT, it's probably because you are expecting something German-made with Metabo's long history of durability. But it goes deeper. Durand says, take a look at their hammer drill and drill driver purchased around 2 years ago. The hammer drill is Germany, and the drill driver says China again, which was a surprise. Maybe this is public knowledge though. We asked around and couldn't find anyone aware of this, but maybe that's just because we're a stateside operation. The website productfrom.com shows quite a few models from China now from the Metabo brand, including that drill driver, but their impacts still show made in Germany, even though this one wasn't. You can find this SSW 18 LTX 300BL for $179, sometimes as low as $140 from sources, but also being sold for $240 plus from others, as it seems the same model number is being shipped from China and Germany. Same model number, 2 different country origins. It's kind of perplexing. Our goal was to compare 2 very similar in name and spec tools from Germany and China, and we found out we failed quite epically at that after we tested them. Who knows if this applies to their larger 400BL as well, as we've seen decent prices on that model too, which doesn't seem to be a good sign. Let us know in the comments if you check yours. Nevertheless, these tools are for sale, so they can be ranked on our channel. Let's do that. Starting at the bottom of our compact leaderboard for now, their power runs are turned into points as 16, 20, and 22 for the Metabo, and 13, 20, and 25 for the HPT. Both tools are 5.7 inches long. That's 39.3 foot-pounds per inch, and 44.4 here. Both of these tools made their torque claims, the Metabo being practically spot on despite being from somewhere we didn't expect. Both get a max of 100% here. 179 for the Metabo as we found, and at the time of testing the HPT was going for about 139. That's 18.8 points and 27.3 as a function of power and price. Totaling just 216.1 and 229.7, placing these closer to the bottom in 11th and 13th place. Strictly from an opinion standpoint, that M12 Compact being a much better tool overall, in my opinion. These two sort of get grouped in with that sort of Cobalt non-XTR sort of compact territory where you expected them to make more power for their size than they actually do. For the price, some cool features. If you already have a Metabo battery platform, the 300BL ain't bad, as long as you know what you're getting. With their specs, they've done a great job of advertising that, but with their country of origin, that advertising not so much. The HPT, maybe it's due to living in the shadow of its larger, but just by an inch or so, bigger brother 36-volt mid-torque, which is a damn powerhouse. This compact-ish 18-volt HPT, even with its very large battery, didn't do anything we would have expected from really any brand's cordless of this size. Hopefully they consider making a 36-volt version that is able to topple a DeWalt Atomic, then they'd have us listening. Appreciate you joining us for this one. Hopefully we can get our hands on some genuine German-made cordless again soon. Subscribe to see that, and thanks as always for watching.